Star Trek USS Enterprise NX-01. This is BlueBrixx set 105437. It was released in August 2023 for about 130 euros. This construction block set consists of 1845 pieces. The bricks in the set are compatible to bricks by other companies like Lego, Mega, Kobe, and so on. This is a BlueBrixx Pro set, so unlike with the special sets, we got here a quite nice designed box. Also, a thing about the Pro sets is that they come with printed building instructions. Sadly, we don't get any digital instructions, so we can't build the set with the help of a PDF file. We have to use the included booklet here. Another thing about Pro sets is that they got building sections. That means we don't have to open every bag which contain the bricks in the beginning. It's absolutely sufficient if we open only the bags needed for each building sections. The bags are numbered, and so we always know which kind of bags we have to open. Like all the other BlueBrixx Star Trek sets, this set too contains bricks by Xingbao. That means we can't hope for high quality bricks, but I think at least they will do the job. But there's also one good thing about Xingbao. They are really good at printing. And as you can see here, the set contains several prints which go across several slopes, for example. And so at least this is positive at this point that we use Xingbao bricks. Okay, then let's have a look at the backside of this box. The box's backside shows us some more views of the completed build, and we also get to see that the set comes with this little plaque here, which contains some spare information about the spaceship. It's the Enterprise, the NX-01 class, and it's 225 meters long. And we also get to see that it appeared in the Star Trek Enterprise TV series. Another thing we can find on the backside are the dimensions of the complete build. So it's 52.7 centimeters by 31 centimeters by 17 centimeters. So it will be quite large when we have completed the thing. This is because this is the large display model. There had been a smaller set before, the mid-size model, but I always prefer the huge stuff, and so I got this one here. This Enterprise here might not be the most beloved Enterprise in the Star Trek universe, or in the Star Trek fan base. It's not Captain Kirk's Enterprise, it's not Captain Picard's Enterprise, it's only Captain Archer's Enterprise, who starred with his crew for, I think, 4 seasons it was in the Star Trek Enterprise series. But nevertheless, this is one of the most important enterprises which existed in the Star Trek universe. This was the first ship from Earth which could reach Warp 5, I think, and it was also the first ship from Earth which had a transporter on board which could beam biological organisms, even though the crew didn't trust the transporter and they preferred shuttles. Well, I'm really looking forward to build the set here, because I think the ship almost only consists of these flat silver bricks here. This will look really cool in the end, I think. Let's have a look inside the box. Here we got all the numbered bags. And we got the manual. In the beginning, we can see that we got 5 building sections. And in the end, there is the inventory list with all used bricks. Alright, then let me take out all the bags with the number 1 on it. And then I will start with step 1-1. I will come back to you as soon as I reach an interesting step or if something doesn't work like intended. I haven't started with the build yet. I just have opened all the bags with number 1 on them, and I stumbled upon this bag here. It doesn't have a number on it at all. I guess here are bricks inside which we will need in several building sections. As you can see, this bag also contains the prints, the printed slopes here, for example, and they are still attached to a plate. During the printing process, they put all these slopes here on a plate so that they can print all the slopes at once. So we got this perfect print here. Everything aligns perfectly. This is done way better when all the tiles, or in this case slopes, are put next to each other. And yeah, they are held in place by a plate. And when you print, or if you would print all the slopes individually, we never would have this perfectly well aligned print. In one of the bags with the number 1 on it, there was this goofy looking brick separator. I have seen this before in Qingbao sets and also in at least one other BlueBrixx Star Trek set. I think it's a bit unfitting to place this giraffe brick separator in a Star Trek themed set. It just doesn't fit in the surrounding, and also it doesn't work too well when I remember correctly. Well, never mind. This doesn't belong to the completed build, so I don't care. Let's start with step 1-1. Step 1-23. Right now we are building the display stand, and this thing here really is overly complex. Have a look here what we have done so far. This piece here of the stand is just insane for a stand. It's nothing else. But we have used a crazy snap technique. So studs not on top. And we also have reversed several times the building direction. It's just crazy. You can see here that we started to build in this direction. So the first brick was like this, then the next was like this. But what we did then is that we added these things here on one of the bricks, so like this. And next we put a 1x2 brick with hollow studs on top of it. I don't have any of those here, I think, so I can't show you exactly what we did, but I think you can imagine. Just imagine that these studs here are hollow. So we put it like this, inside, on top of this little smaller stud here, whatever this thing is called. So we could interlock it like this. And on this side, we started to invert the building direction again with the help of negative slopes. So we had slopes which had studs on this side. And then everything was normal again, like this. So, well, this is a bad example. I don't have enough bricks left to show you what I did. But yeah, you can see that then once again we went on building like this with the studs on this side. So this is really insane. And also we used Technic pins on the sides to have yet another angle. It's just crazy. And of course here we started to build on top of the whole thing. Well, but it gets even more insane now, because what we do now is once again inverting building directions with these only studs here, these hollow studs. We do this with the help of this tool here. We use this bar here, and we can stick it inside a hollow stud like this. And then we have a look for the brick we need. We need this here. And on the underside of this brick, we place the hollow stud. Like this. And then I hold it down with my fingernail and remove the tool, and then you can see the hollow stud is there. We have to do this a second time. Like this. And what we do next is that we once again use one of these, whatever kind of round plates these are, I don't know. Okay, those. Oh no, that's used on this side. Okay, that's just a normal building direction here. But then now we use this little stud here to put this 1x1 round plate with hollow stud on top of it, but we put it upside down. So like this. Oh, come on. Yeah, like this. And I have no idea why we have placed these hollow studs on the underside. We will see in a later step, I think. Okay, but now we can connect this part to the rest of the build, just like this. And yeah, I have to do this once more because there should be 4 of these things. I just have placed 3. But later on we will be able to use these hollow studs to put more stuff on top of it. You can see that now, for example, we would be able to place a brick on top of it. On top of them. Just like this. It's extremely complex for simply building A stand. I wonder how complex the ship itself will be. It's insane. Step 1-25. In this step we need one of those 2x16 plates. And have a look at this plate here. It's completely bent. Damn. Normally it should look like this one here. The other one is perfectly flat. But this one, totally bent. I hope we put enough stuff on top of this plate so this won't become a problem. Step 1-47. We have completed the first section. And well, here below these slopes there is our bent plate. And as you can see, it is still a bit bent. That's a bummer. At least the slopes here straighten it out a bit. It's not as much bent as it was in the beginning, but it could still be better. I think if we would put a tile up here, it would straighten the whole thing a bit more. But we won't do this, I think. No. The stats will be visible until the end. Yep. So this part of the build is complete, and we have to live with this wobbliness. Damn. But the rest of the stand here is absolutely sturdy. That's insane. I wouldn't have thought that it would get that sturdy when we were building this crazy part here with all those direction changes and so on. But no, an extremely sturdy band. Sadly, only the part back here doesn't lay flat on the ground. Well, we can't help it. Let's go on with step 2-1 in the second building section. Step 2-56. In this step we have to use these bricks here, and you can see that they are marked with a star. A star normally indicates that we have to use bricks in metallic colors, but we are working with bricks in flat silver here the whole time. All the bricks are in flat silver, and those weren't marked so far. There's no star. I think since flat silver is the ground color in the set, they just wanted to be very clear that we definitely have to use another color here and not flat silver. And yeah, maybe we could run into the problem that this looks for us like black, but in reality it's this. I don't know what this is. This very dark metallic gray whatever. I don't know. But I'm really sure that we have to use these colors here, these bricks here, because this is the only other color available in this building section other than flat silver. These bricks don't exist in black. And here's clearly a star, so it must be another metallic color. And this is the only other metallic color. You can see we got some red and green tiles here. Everything is translucent, but this is the only color which makes sense to place here. I think it's pearl dark gray. Step 2-61. We are using our first print here, and you can see that the pieces we have to place here are already pre-assembled, still from the printing process, I guess. What's a bit strange is that the pieces here are marked with an A. Well, I think that means that there are two versions of this print here. We got this one, and then we got one which is the other way around or something like that. But I don't think there's a need to put an A here. We just have to look at the bricks and then compare how the print should look like. And yeah, an A isn't here on the bricks or something like that. I guess the next print will have a B, but for us it doesn't make any difference, so this is not necessary. With completing step 2-95, we have also completed a second building section. The build consists of three parts, so we got here this more or less rectangular part in the middle, and these two almost half circles. I know it's a bit far off from a half circle, but I think you see what I mean. And combining these three parts wasn't that easy. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't extremely difficult, but I had to try for a moment. These parts here are quite huge, but at the same time just one brick thick. And yeah, you have to pay attention when you want to attach several studs over this whole length here, and it wasn't that easy, but just take your time. Finally, it will fit. Step 3-30. In this step, we are going to place this 2x2 tile on this dish here. This tile is supposed to be in glow in the dark. It's not white, it's glow in the dark. It looks a bit greenish on here. I'm not sure how easy it is to see on camera. But, well, the tile that was included in all the bags here with the other parts is a white one. But we got this additional bag here, and there is only this single piece inside it. And it's the tile we are going to use here. This is the tile in glow in the dark. How do I know all this? Well, I watched the product video by BlueBrixx, and they told us that we should use the tile inside this additional bag here and not the white one. I wish they would have written this down in the instructions, or that there would be an additional little paper where this was written down. Well, if I had paid a bit more attention, I could have known that I have to use the glow-in-the-dark piece instead of the white piece, because it's simply written on the bag which contained the glow-in-the-dark piece. Step 3-78. So far we have created this huge flat silver pizza here. It looks quite funny, and the color is really cool. I think it's very interesting that also all the bricks in the inside of the build, which aren't visible later, are all in flat silver. This is really cool. We got a lot of flat silver bricks here. Well, then it's time now for the fourth building section. Step 4-13. In this step we have to use 4 of these 1x2 blade modifieds with door handle, but it's hard to say which color this is here. It's a star, so that means it should be in a metallic color, but well, we are using flat silver the whole time, which for some reason isn't marked with a star in the instructions, but flat silver looks like this. It's definitely darker than this. This looks almost like chrome, I would say. But there is no chrome in the set available. Well, there was a bag for this uh, building section which said we should use these 4 pieces here instead of whatever came with the set. And, well, those pieces are simply flat silver, as you can see. I'm going to use those now, but I wonder what they meant, what we should use in the instructions. Step 4-61. It's time to remove the biggest of the prints from its plates. Now let's do this now. Okay, and now we can place it on the ship. I think prints on this flat silver color really look cool. It's really interesting. Alright, and with the completion of this step, we have completed the 4th building section, and it's time to go to the 5th. But by the way, what I think is really cool is that we also see all the single parts of the print here in this little box, and those parts of the print are also shown in the building instructions in the back, in the inventory list. Sorry, I had to think too much while searching for the bricks. Here they are. That's cool. So we don't have just a big print sitting on the plate. We really get all the individual parts in the instruction. And what we do now with this here, I don't know. I guess this won't be needed any longer. In step 5-2, we need 2 of those bars here. And it looks like the bars are in, flat silver or even light bluish gray. But when we have a look at the bars that we got here, we only got these dark bluish gray bars. The other colors are definitely wrong. The same will also happen in the next step, 5-3. There we got the smaller bars here. And once again, they are in a lighter color in the instructions than they are in reality. Those are dark bluish gray bars again. When I look closely at it, all the bricks used in the step look like they are in light bluish gray, but actually are in dark bluish gray. Maybe it's just an optical illusion. It might be that I have seen way too many flat silver pieces, and, well, the flat silver pieces look like normal light bluish gray pieces would look in building instructions. And this is definitely a bit darker, so maybe this is really supposed to be dark bluish gray. Then everything would fit perfectly. Step 5-3. In this step we have to build this long thing here, and, well, we do it with the help of this image in 1:1 scale. have a look at our build, and here you can see that we got this stat here, which isn't completely interlocked with this brick modified above. It still stays in place because there is a bar inside the whole construction which holds everything in place. But I guess these are optical reasons why we are not allowed to interlock this 1x1 round plate with this brick modified. And by holding it next to the image, we can see if we have placed everything correctly, and the length is exactly the same. So we have done it right. Step 5-24. In this step we have to use these tubes here, but we also got replacement tubes in this bag here. So I guess we should use these instead of those. The question now is why? Well, we see here that our tube should be 95.5 millimeters long. That's quite specific, half a millimeter, wow. And when we hold this tube next to the image, we can see that our tube is slightly longer, maybe a millimeter or something like that. And when we now have a look at the new tubes, we can see that they align perfectly with this image here. 95.5 millimeters. It's strange that we have to be this perfect. Wow. It will go here to the swap nozzle or whatever this is. So here, and yeah, here. Okay, I see why we have to be that perfect. I will have to do this again. Okay, I have placed it now with 2 hands, and you can see that this tube perfectly fits in there. That's some precision work. Wow. Step 5-58. I just have placed the second of the warp nacelles, and this was so far the most difficult piece of this whole build. Well, both warp nacelles were the same difficulty, and yeah, it took me a few hours actually. There was so much filigree stuff, and in the beginning everything was wobbling and oh. But once you have completed the nacelle, it's absolutely sturdy, and connecting it to the ship itself is just a matter of seconds. It looks really cool, but it was a lot of work. Step 5-67. With completing the step, we have completed the info black, which means we also have completed the 5th building section, which means we have completed the whole build. Ta-da! But first of all, let's have a look at the info plaque. Well, you can see here, as I already told you when we had a look at the box, that there is just very few information written down here. So we know that it's from the Star Trek Enterprise series. We got the name and the model of the ship and how long it is. At least they could have put down here how many people there could be on board, how big the crew is, or something else. This is just very little information, so this plaque is more or less unnecessary. Okay, then let's have a look at the ship itself. This is so cool. This color really is amazing. I think I'm going to build a Star Wars MOC with these kind of bricks. Well, I have to look first if there are all needed bricks available in flat silver. But if so, then, for example, a Razor Quest from the Mandalorian series really would look nice. Let's see what kind of details we can find here. So first of all, of course, here is this huge print with the ship's name and the model number. Here in the front, we got the deflector dish. Here is the bridge. I think these are the cargo doors. Here and here. Then, of course, we got here the warp nacelles. Those things are quite filigree, but like the whole build, everything is absolutely sturdy. It's surprisingly sturdy for being such a thin ship. These are the impulse engines, and I think this is an airlock, but I'm not sure about this. Here we got the observation deck. Yeah, I think this is all that I can recognize on this side of the ship. And now let's have a look how the ship looks from below. For that, I will remove the ship from its stand. I hope this is possible with just one hand. I don't want to drop it. This is the last part of the stand where I have to loosen the ship. Okay, now it should be loose. And I should be able to just... oh, it's still somewhere interlocked. In the back, it's definitely not interlocked any longer, but somewhere in the front part is just so heavy, I guess it tries to re-interlock. Maybe I just can turn it around with just one hand. Oh, I'm afraid this is not a good idea. Yeah. I'm brave. Let me try this. Okay. Very slowly. Yeah, that did work. Okay, what else do we got here? I think this is the shuttle bay. And some more cargo doors. This is the planetary sensor, I think. And here in the front, these are the torpedo launchers. Have a look at the color. This is so cool. Okay, then just let me remove now the stand. Oh, maybe I can do it with just one hand now. There shouldn't be too much pressure on it any longer. Yeah, now it's possible. Okay, now you can see the stand itself. And it has got the same shape as our ship. It's supposed to be the shadow of the ship, I would say. And this is quite a nice idea, but for me personally, just some kind of oval stand would have been absolutely sufficient. It takes away a bit less space on the table when you don't have these shadows of the warp nacelles here. Okay. I think there is not much more to discover here. Then let me put the ship back on its stand. Completing this build took me 3 evenings and it was really fun. The construction was quite straightforward, there weren't any problems. It was quite easy. Maybe except the warp nacelles, this was a bit more difficult because they are so filigree and they tended to fall apart during the building process. But once you have added all the bricks, everything just keeps in place. They are absolutely sturdy now, just like the rest of the build. But there was really one thing which annoyed me during the building process. You had to concentrate extremely to not mistake dark bluish gray for flat silver. Have a look here. The flat silver bricks are in this light color with these darker spots. And well, the dark bluish gray bricks just look very close to that. There aren't these darker spots, and of course this gray is a bit darker than that of the flat silver bricks, but it still looks quite light. And you absolutely had to concentrate not to mistake that color for that color. Luckily, there weren't many dark bluish gray pieces included in the set, so I didn't have to do too many corrections. The bricks themselves are absolutely fine. The clutch power was just perfect. I didn't have a single problem with the clutch power. Sadly, those are still the Xingbao bricks, and yeah, they got these huge ugly injection holes. Luckily, most of the studs are covered, and so this isn't too much of a problem. And the color is just amazing. I really like this flat silver model here. This is really a great idea. BlueBrixx designer Adrian, at least I guess he created this build here. He did most of the Star Trek sets, maybe even all Star Trek sets by BlueBrixx. I think he really did a great job.